What's up, peeps? Nick Battle, aka Nino's Corner, man. First off, if you like what you're seeing here on this page, go give me a subscribe, guys. And if you like what you listen to on this podcast, go give me a 5-star comment, a like, a review. Helps out a lot. Thank you guys for all the viewers. I'm getting a ton of viewers, as you can see. Thank you so much, guys. But first off, today we are going to talk about the second national signing day for the Texas Longhorn football team. We'll first dive into the grad transfers that came on. So we got a guy from Notre Dame, 6'3", 245-pound defensive end / hybrid outside linebacker, goes by the name of Ovia Gofo. He's going to be really good for us. He was one of the first ones to actually transfer here as a grad transfer once Sark came on board. Next, we got Ray Thornton from LSU, right? He's a 6'3", 225-pound, 235-pound guy, same ilk as, Ovia Gofo, outside linebacker type, hybrid type, right? So those two guys come on board. They're going to compete with Prince Dorba and the likes for that vacant position left by Joseph Asai. But we also got somebody in the 2021 class. Name is David Arbiara from Mansfield Legacy, in like the actual Dallas-Fort Worth, area. He's a big kid, guys. 6'3", 6'4", 245-pound kid. He's 18 years old. Just signed on to here. He's a 4-star guy. He's a really good athlete. The thing that I like about this pickup is that Sark even said it in his press conference, is that, Coach K likes to have one of those hybrid defensive end outside linebacker guys. And if you go look at my previous podcast, I've been telling you this for 2 weeks, guys, that is the kind of defense that Coach K is going to run. It's going to be very multiple. It's going to be a defense where you don't know what is going to come and you don't know where it's going to come from, but there's going to be a lot of havoc, right? So you got these hybrid defensive ends, outside linebackers that was actually filled by, like folks like Andrew Hudson from the Washington teams back in the day, but I'm not going to get into that kind of information. I'm going to go more in depth with my boy Texas Homer here in the next week or so. We're going to really deep dive into this Coach K defense. But I'm just going to tell you guys, I've been telling you this for the last 2 weeks. It's going to be a multiple defense. And what he wants to use is these hybrid defensive ends, outside linebackers, just like Ray Thornton, just like a Gofo, just like Prince Dorba, just like this new kid, David Arbiara. Guys that you can either put in a three-point stance or guys that you can let stand up and let them rush the pass rusher. Well, actually rush the passer, not rush the pass rusher, but rush the passer. And also maybe drop back in the coverage every now and then, but their main job is to cause havoc and do some damage, get a bunch of sacks and stop the run. And that is what these guys are going to be able to do here at the University of Texas. I think immediately it's going to be guys like Agofo and Thornton. Down the line, it's going to be guys like Arbiara. Arbiara is already he's 245 pounds, so he's going to actually grow into his body. He's going to be 265 or 270 here in the next couple years. So he's definitely going to grow into his body. He is going to be hopefully a good player here at Texas. Time will tell. Now, who else did we get? Keytron Lee from Bryan, Texas. He is a slot wide receiver guy, about 5'10", 170 pounds, very fast. Very, very fast. When you click on his film, speed. And that's something that Sark loves, is speed. All right. So this guy checks all the boxes when it comes to those. Great suddenness, great quickness. He is just a really good athlete. It's going to be good to see him in this offense in the slot position. The next guy that we got, guys, was Ishmael Ibrahim, which he was actually committed for a while, just didn't sign during that first signing day, but he signed for the second signing day. Big, tall, rangy cornerback, guys. I think he's like a top 150 player in the country. Comes from the Dallas Kimball, school. I mean, Kimball puts out some players and they have for some time now. This kid can play. He can ball. So glad that Texas got him on the actual roster here, because we need DBs. We need DBs in the worst way, especially in the Big 12, where Oklahoma has 3 or 4 5-star wide, like wide outs and tight ends that have to be covered. You need these tall, rangy defensive backs. You need a guy like Ishmael Ibrahim who can line up and cover pretty much anybody. Long wingspan, long legs, can run like the wind. Just a very good player. Okay, so those are the highlights that happened from today's National Signing Day, the second National Signing Day. All right, so I listened to Sark's press conference afterwards, guys, and just want to just kind of give you some facts on some of the things he said. I told you guys about Coach K's defense, about that hybrid outside linebacker DN. Coach Sark basically said the exact same thing, guys. So ding, ding, we're doing some good things around here, right? The next thing he did say that he was worried about the depth at the inside linebacker position. Now, he said that the quality was there, but he just worried about the depth. Now, you guys know the inside linebacker position. We got Jalen Ford, we got Mitchell, we got Overshawn, who I think is a beast and might be the best defensive player here in the Big 12 next year. And we also got David Benda. Now, those are only 4 guys. Hey, we need some more folks, because the more guys that we get on this team that are your inside linebacker types, that are your defensive back types, which also Sark said was a position where we have a lot of quality but not a lot of depth. So guys like that are guys that can play on that special teams unit also. You need depth at those positions because, like I said, those guys build your special teams. Also, he also talked about the offensive line, where we struck out today on the one candidate. I was hoping that we got Austin Uke, yeah. Kid ended up going to Stanford. Can't blame him. Stanford, but he would have been a great addition here for this class. We need offensive linemen in the worst way. Looks like Sark already knows that. He said that he's going to refocus pretty much a lot of his recruiting efforts in 22 and 23 for that offensive line. All right. So he said there's a lot of quality there, there also, but not a lot of depth. So we need depth, guys, at offensive line, inside linebacker, and defensive back. Sark's already said it, but what I will say is, I think Sark's going to get the best out of this team. I think the development is going to come from this team. I think it's going to be a very good team. We were essentially 3 plays away, guys, from being undefeated this year. 3 plays. We're also a couple plays away from being 5-5. That's what Coach, said also today. So it could go either way, but I think with the offensive firepower that we're going to instill here at Texas in Austin, I think it's going to be great for this team. But let's go back and recap the folks who we got today. We got Ovie Oghoufo, from Notre Dame. He was a grad transfer. We got Ray Thornton, the outside linebacker, grad transfer from LSU. The 2 things that I like about both those guys, they got championship pedigree, with Thornton actually winning a championship at LSU, so he knows what it takes to win those championships, just being on the roster, and Oghoufo being in a college, football playoff at a big-time school like Notre Dame. So that also helps coming into the locker room. Guys know what it looks like to be in those positions, along with the coach who knows what it's like to be in those positions. You got it coming from the top, and you also got it from the players coming from your locker room who can tell you what it's like. Okay, next we got David Abiara, the defensive end from Mansfield Legacy. Then we got Keytron Lee. I think he's going to be a good player, also, and Ishmael Ibrahim. So good signing day for this second signing day. There's a couple things I know that we wish we could have had. Maybe another running back. Maybe LJ Johnson. He actually left and signed with the Aggies. So good pickup for them. But I am very pleased with Jonathan Brooks and what we got here. First team, max preps. First team for the country. MVP, Mr. Football for the state of Texas. We can't go wrong with that. I think he might be the best back here in the state. All right, guys. So all in all, guys, you know how I always end these. I always tell you guys to do you, man. Don't be afraid to fail. Outgrow your environment. Understand your brilliance, man. Salute to you guys. Be on the lookout for that next episode we got coming out. Me and Texas Homer. We're going to have a great episode dissecting Coach K's defense, man for man, position for position, just how good that defense is and how some of these recruits from the National Signing Day 2 and the National Signing Day 1 can fit into that scheme. So on that note, guys, man, salute. I'm out.